Hi guys, welcome to GDG Jam Round 1. I'm so happy to see so many of you guys here in the overflow room. Guys, stop yapping. Alright, hands up, how many of you guys are newbies to making games? Who's never made a game before? Hands up. Alright, okay, that's good. We are trying to keep more of the experts in this room, but we're going to do a bit of an icebreaker later to sort of mix and merge all the experts with the newbies so that we can have like a, you'll see. But, to start off, we're going to do a bit of a trailer that you might have seen. If it will load. There we go. All right, woo! Yay! Y'all are too tired for this shit.
Yeah.
I know, it's 6 o'clock, you guys are all tired, I get it. I'm gonna just ask some of you guys on that side, hello, you guys on that side, move over here. That's right, we're gonna be social. This is a social club after all, come on. That's right, move on. But, for those of you who don't know, GDG Jam is a game jam that levels up your game dev skills. Shut the hell up. Sorry. It's basically just a game jam that is sort of like a month long. You try to make a game in a small amount of time with your team. So what makes it different to regular game dev? So, we present a theme, we present challenges, so you guys have goals for your game, you get to easily form teams. Again, there's more people in that room, so there's a plethora of people to choose from, especially since most of those people in the other room are solo developers, and they're very willing to be in a team with you guys. You guys got a time limit, so you know how much to scope your game. You can find resources online and improve your skills as you develop, and you get to showcase it at the end. And of course, you get to learn from your mistakes faster than you usually would by conventional game dev means. Because, making a game in 2 months accelerates you compared to trying to make a game in 1 year and flopping horribly. So yeah, this isn't a competitive event. We encourage more like learning and supporting everyone's game dev journeys during this process and just enjoying the art of game dev. Like, we're not trying to make a commercial game. We're just trying to be like a hobbyist club that enjoys making games and enjoys making projects. Maybe even for your CVs and stuff. So first of all, what makes a game? Ideation. That's going to be the first stage, the core principle of like literally brainstorming ideas and presenting a few ideas for like what your game could be. Then you will form teams, you'll sort of develop tasks and plans, you will think of the designs and mechanics, and you will also consider the tools and engines that you will use in your game. Next up, you will consider more complex things. You will probably divvy up the roles. So you'll probably have an artist in your team who will consider the art, the character design, the UI. You'll obviously have a coder who will be making the code for your game. You'll have writers if you are going for a more narrative route. You'll probably have sound designers or music people if there are any in this club, which there usually isn't. And finally, you are going to be assembling, testing, and building your game. So that's where you actually, build your game. You try to have an early version of your game. You see what bugs there are. You make sure that it's playable and that the gameplay loop is what you want. And you continue to iterate on all the previous steps while sort of finalizing it. And eventually, you just made a game. Woo!
It's actually such a surprise.
Wow. So yeah, In terms of a timeline, this is sort of like the timeline that you could expect for a novice game developer. I know many of you guys have made games before, so you can sort of go beyond this timeline. But traditionally, we suggest that you spend a lot of your time, especially the early time, learning how to make a game, right? So you learn how to use your engine, you learn how to code, make art, do your other things, and eventually you move on to making more defined things. You start working on your mechanics, character controls, base enemies, maybe the main level. You also work on your core assets like tile maps, characters, music, and placeholders. And as the semester moves on, that sort of gap is like maybe the mid-sem break. You continue to learn. This is like a period where you get to learn a lot, especially if you are new to game dev. And as you're learning and as you're building, you assemble it, like I said before. You make your main level. Hopefully you have a UI, maybe you have some dialogue, and maybe try to do a bit of bug testing and polish in detail. So maybe you have some animations, a bit of music, a bit of SFX, and voila, you have a released game. In comparison, if you're an expert, if you've made a few games, you kind of just know the gist, this might be a more complex timeline that you guys might consider, especially some of you guys, because I know you've made like 3 or 4 games. I know you guys. So you can try to like design, you can try to put more emphasis on game design, try to plan out what the actual main level would look like, have a bit of task prioritization, maybe have some more complicated mechanics, so maybe introduce some AI to your enemies, maybe consider like special abilities, maybe life systems, more complex character controls, etc., etc. And of course, you will start moving on to maybe something more complicated like a game manager. I honestly don't know what that means, but I know good game devs use it. I'm an artist, so I wouldn't really know. But of course, you will also focus on the core assets. And in contrast to before, you might have more things here. So you will still be using placeholders. Placeholders will be your best friend during a lot of this process. But during that, you will also be developing your tile maps, your characters, your dialogue, maybe some important UI. Again, because you're more seasoned game developers, you will probably be making more stuff in less time, or you will just have the gist down. Hopefully during the mid-semester break, or just, like halfway through this 2-month-long period, you will have an MVP, a demo, you will have a minimum viable product where we can see what your game kind of looks like. And as you move on from the MVP, you start adding more features, maybe add a save system, more abilities, enemy variants, extra levels, all that jazz, more details like more animations, music, SFX, shaders, that's fancy. And you will continue bug fixing and polishing and, release a game. So as you can see, there's much more involved in doing a sort of expert level timeline, but you will all probably be like somewhere in the middle. Like it won't just be this, but it also just won't be all of this. So, this is like sort of an example of what you could potentially pace your game dev journey as. As a club, we highly suggest that you guys form teams for your games. I know some of you guys came in teams already, like you guys already have been working in teams. Some of you guys have come solo, so hopefully you'll meet others and produce a game with them. With teams, you actually get a mixture of skill sets. I'm sure Daz has been giving you a bunch of these little like icons. They basically just indicate what kind of roles you have. And if you have a variety of team members, you can have a variety of roles. So hopefully you have a coder, hopefully you have some artists, maybe a musician, maybe a writer. The more the merrier, right? And you also get to bounce ideas more freely. You can maximize creativity, and you can share responsibilities more easily. We suggest sticking to a team of 3 to 5 people, but you can sort of grow it to be bigger than that. I have seen teams of like 10 people, in fact, from these guys, but they do become an issue of like project management and overscoping. Would you guys agree to that?
No, it was all good.
It was all good? All right. You guys are just skilled then. But either way, I'd recommend for the rest of you guys to maybe stick to a team size of 3 to 5, because that's where you don't have a lot of infighting, or you can just make a game that's more suitable to your skill levels. If you do end up going solo, it's much more stressful. You do get complete creative freedom. You get to control like the pace and the scope. You get to control your own timeline. And you get to be more experimental because, if you're working in a team, everyone probably wants to be a bit safer than if you went solo. But it is a lot of effort, and you can still ask for help from other people. So even if you don't end up with a team today and you decide to go solo, you can still recruit more people on our Discord or just your friends, right? So yeah, going solo is only recommended for those who have gone and made a few games before, so pretty much most of you guys. But I would still suggest going with the group because I find that teams are much more fun. This is my game, The Temple. This is one of the games that we made in in GDG Jam semester 2, 2023. Ignore the date over there. It's basically an arcade simulator. You are an archaeologist. You are exploring a dilapidated arcade, and each arcade you play in is like it is its own sort of mini game. So there's like one that's basically a reskinned Dino Runner. There's one that's like a trampoline game. There's a variety of them. The kind of vibe we were going for was like something where Dionysus has corrupted this place, so hence it has sort of become his own temple. And we had a team of 3 to 4 people. In saying that, we kind of overscoped a shit ton. Making 6 games, even in 2 months, was a lot of effort. I know we tried to make a game, like me and Liam and a few of us, we actually participated in Terrible Ideas Hackathon, and we tried to make 5 different games. It was a shit show.
It turned out better than I thought, actually.
It did turn out better than we thought, but it could have been better. But yeah, I mean, even me, who's like made like 3 or 4 games, even in this sort of project, I still overscoped, and I really recommend that you guys try to stick to a more limited scope, and if you guys manage to achieve that scope, then you go beyond that. But regardless, I had a lot of fun making this game. It was really fun, like making the lore, like you can see the dialogue, and it was really fun making the art for this because I made all the arcade assets and all the tile sets and all that stuff.
They're like 4 slides ahead.
4 slides ahead. Okay. All right. So, minimum viable product. So, developing an MVP is very essential if we want to. I forgot to write the rest of this. It's very essential to just developing a good game. You want to make sure your game is small as possible and that you guys, yes. Fearing the feature creep. So, good scope means that you should have a clear idea of what your game is and ensure that it is achievable. Feature creep happens when you guys overscope your games and you try to create too many features, but you don't have the time or energy to execute it. So try to keep a low bar and make sure that you prioritize the most important features. Make sure to touch grass. You know, most of us are very busy. That is not grass. That is not grass. Do not touch the one on the left. No, but seriously, I know you guys are all very busy. We've designed GDG Jam to be 2 months long so that you can actually have a lot more time to learn and develop your game. But you should still prioritize your life, you should still prioritize your academia, and make sure that this is just something you guys are doing for fun, all right? So don't burn yourself out for this jam. I've seen plenty of people spending like 3 all-nighters in a row trying to make a game. Don't do that. Please don't do that. I can hear you guys laughing, and I know some of you guys have done that, so please don't do that. So yeah, don't burn yourself out. I'm trying to give you a lot of time just so you can actually make a game. And yeah, you can make your own resources. We highly suggest that you guys form teams where there are some creative people. Obviously, you'll be probably using a game engine like Unity, Unreal, Blender, and Godot, and all these various other tools. You can also gather assets online. We don't suggest that you use AI. Please don't use AI. But you can still use these like assets that have been made by real human people, and you can try to integrate them into your game, provided that you have proper copyright attribution, which is usually just like credited by blah blah blah. Very simple. We also have an asset bank, so we have a Discord page where we share all our assets. So if you ever make assets for your game, post it on Discord. If you want to steal some assets, steal it from Discord. Do whatever you want. It is there for you guys to steal from and contribute to. Please contribute to there as well. We would love to get more and more stuff on there and then have like a whole menagerie of all our stuff. Anyways. Drum, please. The theme is Crash. Okay.
Damn, I did not see that coming.
Whoa. Yeah, I don't know. What does crash mean? You will have to interpret it for yourself. In addition to the theme, we do have 4 potential modifiers. These aren't mandatory, but they are optional challenges for you to add to your game. And if you do them, you just get bragging rights. That's really it. The first 2 are, all art is traditionally made. The next one is make the game in Scratch or Roblox.
Oh no.
The next two, guys. The next two are potentially have an Easter egg about our club, GDG, and the music modifier could be include all vocals in all of your music and SFX. So all your, yeah, go on. What's up?
Finish my previous slide.
Pardon?
Finish what you're saying, sorry.
Okay. So yeah, these are, like I said, these are all optional challenges. So you don't have to do them, but they are there, and we will release this as a post soon. So we're gonna do a bit of an icebreaker situation.